Hi everyone, my name is Charlie and this is Charlie and welcome to the final Charlie and Charlie's Christmas Cracker of 2024. We have made it this year. Touch wood, we have yet to have any tragedies that have prevented us from recording. This is also the reason we chose not to do a live show this year, just in case anything decided that it was going to foul us at the last hurdle. So, Charlie, what have we got in store for them today?
We've got jokes, we've got games, a really, really fun game, and then also we've got some musical book linked recommendations.
That's that. Are you ready? Are you sitting comfortably?
I am now.
All right. As with all good Christmas crackers, we need a joke. So, what does Mrs. Claus get when she wears tight pants?
I haven't heard of this one. What does Mrs. Claus get when she wears tight pants?
A mistletoe.
It's good. I like that. Oh, I like that. That's funny.
Okay. What is your joke for me?
This joke was sent by the lovely Zach, who is just one of the best subscribers. So thank you, Zach. Right, this is the joke I'm going to say. So, right. We're talking about underwear again.
Oh, okay.
Why don't ghosts wear underwear in December?
I don't know.
To make it easier to get into the Christmas spirit.
That's fantastic.
That joke actually made me laugh when I heard it.
That's really good.
I did like it. So thank you, Zach.
Oh yes, thank you for sending that one over. I think that if we were questioning if there was a winner or a loser in the jokes this year, then I definitely fell into the losing category. But
no, I think that joke from Zach is actually the best joke of all of them.
That's what I'm saying.
The mistletoe one's really good. I like the mistletoe one.
I know. I was hoping for something a bit, filthier, but then I also thought we don't know who's watching.
Not that it's never stopped us before.
That's true, but there are some jokes that we say for off screen. Okay, then. I think that we should move directly on to our 2 likes and 1 dislike. This time around, we have chosen books from pre-1950. And if you didn't know, we are both, is it 2-1 at the moment?
2 for 2. You do go first this week. I do.
So Charlie got them all right in the first week and the second week. And I got them wrong in the first week, but then got them right in the second and the third week. So it's not really a decider here. There can only be, there can be a loser. If there's a loser, it's likely to be me, given how...
That is not true. He is being so smug. He is really wanting to win. Charlie is really wanting to win this. Like, you are so desperate for the win.
I was a bit smug last week, I have to admit, but then I'd worked hard to make sure that you get it wrong. Whereas this week, I just think that we're both hopeful that we know each other. I'm going to ask that you go first, regardless of what order you think it should be in. So, which books have you picked out as your likes and dislikes?
Okay, I've got 3.
Yeah?
Because we've got 3.
2 likes and 1 dislike. It's the name of the game.
The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. I can't pronounce anything French.
I don't know how to pronounce it either.
Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky.
Yeah.
I can't say that either. Native Son by Richard Wright.
Oh, I've never heard that last one. This is a tough one.
Yeah, I did that deliberately after watching the Christmas thing for Cracker from last week.
Because, normally
I don't go harsh, but I was like, the carrot made it necessary.
I saw the carrot straight away. This is a really tough one for me.
Because you just don't want to lose. That's why.
When you started, I was like, there was one book in my head, but then I'm like, I don't know if I'm overthinking it again. Because I also feel like one of these books, firstly, I've not read any of them.
Okay.
The only Dostoevsky one that I've read is The Karamazov Brothers, which I read with your sister.
I haven't been reading that with them.
Yeah. I'm not ready for this, but I'm just going to say Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky.
I hate you. Right. You don't know my taste so freaking well. I hate you so much. I hate you so much. So yeah, it was Crime and Punishment. I DNF'd Crime and Punishment. I just found it punishing in itself. I may revisit it, that being said, if enough people can like protest enough. But yeah, just not for me. And so The Little Prince, I enjoyed it. It was a bit wacky, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And then Native Son is just like the favourite. I remember reading it, and I think I read it in 2019, and I just love Richard Wright's writing. I've gone on to read more works by him. I think he's like a Harlem Renaissance writer, I believe. I can't remember that sort of era. Brutal. It's a very brutal book, but it's brilliant. Really, really good.
You know me and brutal at the moment. We're not getting on.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
I'm not really in the mood for brutal at the moment, but one day when I'm back into that, then I might give it a go.
It's a really good book. And definitely one that more people should be talking about. Yeah. Anyway, tell me yours.
Okay, so
that means you're right, so I've got to get this right. There's the pressure as well now.
I do think that you will get this one. Okay.
I don't know whether I will. I feel like I'm doubting myself now.
So we have The Moving Finger by Agatha Christie, The Law and the Lady by Wilkie Collins, or Cry the Beloved Country by Alan Paton.
I don't know any of these either. Apart from The Moving Finger, obviously I've heard of. The other two I don't know, and I do not remember you talking about. So can you say the names of the other two again?
The Law and the Lady by Wilkie Collins and Cry the Beloved Country by Alan Paton.
Right. I'm going to say the Alan Paton one, this is where I go wrong again, is the safe one.
Okay.
I have no reason for this. It's just I feel like that you would try to throw me off. So I'm going to say that Agatha Christie or Wilkie Collins is the one that you've used to try to throw me off. Because I know you read both of those authors, but also I've known you.
All of these books.
What?
I read all of them. It's the game of the game.
No, but no, multiple books by the authors. I mean, you read multiple books by Christie and multiple books by Wilkie Collins, and you've liked multiple books by Christie and disliked multiple books by Christie, and also liked a few by Wilkie Collins, but disliked quite a lot by Wilkie Collins. So that's what's throwing me off. I really don't. Honestly, I'm really torn between the Christie and the Wilkie Collins, and I feel like I think I'm going to say the Christie is the one you don't like.
You're correct. Yeah. So originally for this, I was looking for a different Christie book, but because we said pre-1950, when I looked, the one I wanted to say I think came out in the 60s or the 70s. So then I went and looked at all the books by Christie pre-1950, because there are a few, as you've just said, that I don't like. And then I look back at The Moving Finger, and I remembered the reason I don't like this book is it's a Miss Marple book, but Miss Marple doesn't appear for about over 100 pages. I think she's only in the last quarter. She turns up, solves a mystery, and then buggers off again. And I just don't like
it. Can happen quite often, can't it?
Like they deal with it well in the radio play version and on screen. But in terms of the book, it was just so dry and irksome that happened. In fact, I'm pretty confident that's one where I said if she hadn't been in it at all, it would have improved the book. The Law and the Lady by Wilkie Collins was recommended to me by Kate Howe, and you are completely correct. There have been more misses than hits for me when it comes to Wilkie Collins, but The Law and the Lady, despite a few problematic aspects, is actually a fantastic, gripping read, and is one of those times when I read a Victorian novel really quickly because the pace was just there. And Cry the Beloved Country by Alan Paton is a book that I was given back in 2008 by a friend of mine. And I read it maybe 10 years ago now. While I haven't reread it since, it's still on my shelves. And I'm going to go back to it one day because I just really utterly adored that one. So, yeah.
Oh, that's good. That means we're both winners, Charlie.
I told you it would only end in a tie.
Oh, no, you didn't. I thought you were going to win. Because you were so determined.
I was determined in the end, but it's not a determination to win. It's a hatred of being wrong. I hate being wrong more than anything in the world.
I don't mind being wrong, as we've already said.
I have to get over it. Next, we have a bit of a linking up scenario going on. Charlie saw this on somebody's channel, therefore I'm going to allow her to explain what we've done. So over to you.
I saw this from Aaron Read a Book, the lovely Aaron. He got it from KTB Reading. So yeah, both those channels, Charlie will link obviously in the description.
I will.
Katie basically we were all seeing everyone's like Spotify Wraps, and so Katie's idea was that to link the Spotify Wraps, you share your top 10 songs and then link those songs like however you want to with books. You pair them. So it's like so basically it's talking about music that you've had that is your favourite songs in the year, and then also you get to do some book recommendations. So 2 for 2 of what we love. So that's why I was like, Charlie, this is a brilliant idea.
Although we are doing it a bit of an alternative fashion because Charlie only has the YouTube app, and also I ruined my Spotify Wrap this year because I played a 60s playlist a lot in the shop, and therefore a lot of the songs that are on here are not songs that I actually enjoyed. So I went through and picked out the songs that I'd actually listened to this year. So starting at number 10 for me, we had Euphoria by Annalisa, which is an Italian pop song that the artist, I don't know whether she made it through to Eurovision in 2023 with it, but also somewhere on this list I had Sinceramente by. I listen to a lot of Italian pop music, as we know. So Charlie, what was your number 10?
The Taste from The Idea of You, the soundtrack.
Never heard of it.
It's a movie with Anne Hathaway and Nicholas Galitzine, and it will appear again.
Okay. My next song was Juice by Lizzo.
Oh, I love that you had that in your top 10. I love that song. My number 9 is one I think you will like as well. $1 Million Bill by Whitney Houston. It's so cheesy, but just so brilliant. I love that song.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. I'm not particularly fond of that song, but I am fond of her performance on The X Factor, where she finished singing it, her dress had come undone, and she just goes, I was good, wasn't I?
Oh, bless her.
So my next song is Becky's So Hot by Fletcher.
Oh, that's good. My next one, I'm going to skip one because the next one I'm going to use is going to be sneaking into my top 5. So I'm going to say Dog Days Are Over by Florence and the Machine.
Oh, Lord, that's a throwback. I said to Charlie, with my playlist, it's very funny to me because all of the songs that are here in the bottom are all of the really bouncy songs. But oftentimes for me in a month, it'll give me all the bouncy songs are separated by all these songs of incredible depression. So the next song for me was Rain in Fellas by Todrick Hall.
Just of course.
Yeah.
Why not? So my next one is a Dua Lipa one. This is one that the kids put in the car. So this is why I'm not this is totally a children inspired one. But I still really do like this one though. Yeah, it's a good one. I said that the name of it, didn't I? Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh sorry. Training Season by Dua Lipa.
You laugh because that was 11th on my list. It was just outside the top 10. Yeah.
Oh, so funny.
My song in at number 6 was Bold O'Donoghue by the Mary Wallopers. I first heard these back on Jules Holland in his big hootenanny at the end of the year last year. And basically, ever since then, they were getting played at the start of the year. They were my most popular artist in January. So what?
So my last one is again another Bell one, and it would have made it in if it wasn't for this. And it's the What You Know by the Two Door Cinema Club.
I've heard of them.
Yeah. It's good. It's another good track. I do like it.
I ain't never done. I've listened to them, but I heard of them. Now we have reached the top 5, and this is where we've begun to pair the books off with each other. And so I'll go first and then hand it over to Charlie, and we'll do this as we've been doing them. So my song in at number 5 is actually a firm favourite of mine and has been for about 13 years now. And that is Summer Wine by Nancy Sinatra and Lee Hazelwood.
I've heard you say about this
song. Oh, yeah, I talk about this song a lot. I'm broken record and all that. And the book that I have chosen to pair this with is A Wreath of Roses by Elizabeth Taylor.
Ah.
And the reason for this is A Wreath of Roses for me is one of Elizabeth Taylor's darker books. It's set during the summertime, and because of the heat within the novel, everything feels incredibly oppressive. Now, that's not necessarily how Summer Wine feels to me, but the lyrics behind Summer Wine and the tone of it, just for whatever reason, I thought Summer Wine, and then I was thinking about the book, and then they just kind of matched together out of nowhere, and I was like, well, clearly the universe wants those books put together. And what was your number 5 song?
My number 5 song is Forget Me by Lewis Capaldi. And this is, again, like, Lewis Capaldi is like an artist that my daughter, again, loves. But this is a song that I really do like. And it's one that we've played it so much in the car that it's like, it is actually one of my favorites now. And like, every time like I hear Lewis Capaldi, obviously I think of my daughter. And so I just love it so much. This song is about a relationship, but I do not really read books about like romance and stuff like that. So how I've interpreted this is to pick my most memorable book. So, and it's a book that was, I think it was like one of the first 5 stars of the year that I gave, and it was Hungry by Grace Dent. So obviously the actual book is a memoir. Grace Dent is a food critic, and it talks about sort of her life growing up to a certain point. I really I listened to the audiobook of this, and I've got the physical book, and it's just such a great memoir.
So the song that came in at number 4 for me was Waterloo Sunset by the Kinks. And this was a song that was on the 60s playlist, but it was also a song that I played outside of that. There's this thing that's always gone on with me where I've liked a song from a certain era and not known who the artist is, and then it's turned out to be the Kinks, and it happens so often that I think I just have to call them a favourite band at this point. And the book that I've chosen to pair this with is The Picturegoers by David Lodge, simply because they're both from around the same era, and the Picturegoers is just about all these people who go to the pictures, and then it goes out and it covers their lives, shows a bit about them, and then returns to the cinema and goes into another person's life. I just really enjoyed this book. I haven't read much more by David Lodge since this one, but I do intend to one day. And I think that it's a very interesting way to write a novel, of having all these people in one setting, then like spotlighting one of their lives, coming back out, going into the next person's life.
Yeah, because one of Jen's favourite books that I read, that's basically like that. You go from multiple person perspective. My number 4 song is one that I love with my whole heart. Like, I love this song so much, and it's another one that Belle put on the radio. That's such an old-fashioned phrase. There's another song that Belle put on in the car.
Okay.
And anyway, I'm gonna say it. So it's Classic by MKTO. I can't remember how you pronounce it, but MKTO. Have you heard of them? Like, you have to. I really
just made me feel incredibly old.
Anyway, it's an amazing song. It's as soon as you hear it, you will just know. You need to like pause and like play it, because it literally is the best song ever.
I mean, we're going to disagree on that one.
It's so much fun. Anyway, so basically with this song, it's like, how I think of this song, it's like very, very fun. So obviously, like, the song being the title Classic, you would think I would then, as a recommendation, head to a classic. I am not going to do that. The song itself, to me, represents it's just joy. I wanted my book choice to represent that, and I wanted it to be the most fun I've had in a book all year. And so the only book that it could be, I wonder if you can guess, is Horrorstor by Grady Hendrix.
Oh, okay. I mean,
because even though you would think that's like an off choice, but it's not. It's because it's the most fun I've had reading, and that song is the most fun song I've listened to. So therefore, you had to put my most fun book with my most fun. No, my most fun book with my most fun song. So that's what it is. And Horrorstor is obviously, for those people that don't know, is about like it's like the actual book itself, which is how I recommend reading this book, is like an IKEA catalogue, and you basically, it's very, very short. It's like 200 something pages, but it's like not very much writing per page. And yeah, we start off and stuff is happening, like smells like furniture's been moved, stuff's been damaged in the store, and basically the store manager, who I love, side note, the store manager, I literally love him so much. He's a Whovian. The store manager's Whovian. I'm sure I messaged you about this. Anyway,
Oh, you
and
did.
yeah, so basically they've got to uncover what's going on, and then actually what turns out to be going on is like this haunted house sentient like situation, and it's amazing. I just love it.
I have not. It's not that I've been avoiding Grady Hendrix, but I read one of their books a few years ago, and like it just didn't get me the way I'd hoped it would. But Horrorstor has been one that I think a lot of people have gone to because of how it's set out and everything. Anyway, my next song, and I wasn't surprised by this song being on here because there's been a Moonlit song on every single year that I have had Spotify Wrapped, and this was What I Want. The book that I've chosen to pair this song with is What Belongs to You by Garth Greenwell,
Ah,
because of the line in the chorus is how they want to dance in the middle of a gay bar. And then obviously What Belongs to You by Garth Greenwell is just, well, it's just full of sex, basically.
yeah,
Just
why not?
a fuck ton of gay sex.
Go for it.
Merry Christmas.
Wholesome.
So yeah, what's your third song?
So yes, this third song. This is going to be a common thing. Is another one that the kids initially played in the car, but this is like a really good song. This is a genuinely really good song, and obviously I love it. So it's "Forget About Us" by Perry. Some people probably don't like this song, but I do. I love it.
Oh yeah.
It's like her debut
Yeah,
single. So
yeah, no. There's also the song by Little Mix called "Think About Us," so I just got them confused in my head for a second. Yeah,
and I love the video because I just think she just looks amazing in it, and like she's not long had a little baby, and she just looks stunning in the video. And the song is just really really good. The song is about, and again, it's another song that is about a relationship that's fallen apart and stuff. My link to book is not about a relationship that's fallen apart. It's how a relationship has been put together, and it's one of my favorite non-fictions of the whole year. I think it is this year. It must be. My years are getting jumbled up. But anyway, it's How We Met by Huma Qureshi. This is a book that obviously an author that you love, and I'm fairly certain you've read this book.
I haven't read this book.
Oh, you've read her short stories, haven't you?
I've read her book of short stories, yeah.
That's still the one I need to do. Yeah, because you sent me for Christmas her like a proper debut like fiction book, wasn't it? After reading that, I just loved her writing so much. I was like, right, I need to read How We Met, and it's just this beautifully like it's so heartwarming. It's just about how her and her husband met and fall in love, and it's just so it's non-fiction, but it's just so gorgeous. And I love her writing. She just is very good at writing narrative non-fiction, and it's just you feel like it could be a novel, and it's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I highly, highly recommend it to every single person. It'll be on my favorites, obviously. And yeah, that's my one.
Okay. Well, we've now reached the top two, which is really 4 more songs and 4 more books. My top two, my second song shouldn't be a surprise either, because as with many people, I have really enjoyed the work of Chapel Roan this year. Well, it started over a year ago, actually, you know. I like to say that I was listening before everyone else was. I was here before she got popular. I'm one of those people. But the song that I was actually surprised that this was the top song that I'd listened to by her, because it's not like my favorite from the album, but
I can't wait to see which one it is.
it's Naked in Manhattan.
Oh, I wouldn't have
Yeah,
thought you'd have that. Yeah.
I couldn't believe it being the top song that I'd listened to by her this year. But I didn't go with Manhattan with this one. I went with Rainbow Milk by Paul Mendez.
Oh, that's a good
To
choice.
me, they both have very, once again, I don't know, there was just something in my mind where they seem to connect to each other. You know, Naked in Manhattan, there's the nightlife there. And although Rainbow Milk is set in London in the 90s and there's a lot of music and that sort of thing, they
It's a
just,
really good book.
in my mind, they felt like they had very similar tones of longing in there. And
Yeah, I get that.
yeah, I mean, I don't know whether there's the amount of joy in Rainbow Milk as there is in Naked in Manhattan, but they just seem to pair well together.
I
And
like that.
I suppose if there was like a modern day Sex in the City out there that could have gone with Naked in Manhattan, maybe, but I haven't read enough contemporary romance or smut to include it.
I really feel like your links are really good, whereas mine just like classic Pali like word association in my brain, which the loose links that go. So this is who I am.
Yeah, yours is very like word salad.
Yeah, that's just who I am.
Okay then. So what was your song that came in at number 2?
My song at number 2 is a soppy one. Well, this is another song that Belle played, and she played it on repeat. I'll just say what it is. It's Hero by Charlie Puth. Anyway, so it was playing. I'm not going to get emotional though. I'm going to really be good at not getting emotional. But it was playing a lot when at a time this year that I was at my most saddest and the most upset. And so in my head, I link that song with that time, and so when I hear it, it makes me emotional, but I'm not going to get emotional now. I'm just going to just like move through that, which isn't easy, but I am going to. In terms of word association, again, Charlie Brain, hero. When I think of the word hero, the actual song is about, again, another song about a relationship, and it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful song. I love that song, and Charlie Puth's voice, side note, is just, I just think so stunning on that track. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous song. Anyway. But the book, when I think of hero, I think of my mum, because my mum is my hero. So there I think, again, I go back to motherhood. So I've got 2 books. This is where the cheat thing that I told you about comes in. I've got a non-fiction and I've got a non-fiction and a fiction that pair well together. And they both were on the Women's Prize this year. One was on the non-fiction Women's Prize and one was on the fiction Women's Prize. And again, that links back to the whole theme of the book, in the sense that the theme of the song for me, because then, like, there's a lot of links. So anyway, yeah, so the books are Matrescence by Lucy Jones, which is a non-fiction about it sort of somewhat sort of talks about her experiences with motherhood, and then also goes into the science like with motherhood and in nature, and it's just such a stunning, really, really well researched book. And it's one that, like non-fiction, often when you read it, I don't know about you, but I will read it and then I won't really revisit non-fiction. But with this, I 100% want to revisit it, because I feel like it's one that I want to be like, it's so relevant to me. Like, it's just, so I want to be reminded of the information in that book. It's just gorgeous. And the book, obviously, that links with it is Soldier Sailor by Claire Kilroy, which was another 5-star read from the Women's Prize for Fiction book. I just love that book so much. Again, talks about motherhood, about a lady that I would say she's got like postpartum depression, and it's sort of like, yeah, again, talking about motherhood. So yeah, both those books I love, and both those books I recommend. And yeah, motherhood, my mum's my hero. That's why.
I'm really enjoying this. So many songs I've never heard of and so many books I've never read.
I love that.
Anyway, we've reached my top song of the year, basically. The song that wasn't from the 1960s, that was the first one on the playlist. And I can't say I was shocked by it, because I can remember listening to it a lot, but I didn't think that I'd listened to it this much. And it's Colorado by Renee Rapp. Yeah, I did not know that this was the person who was in the new Mean Girls film until I've been listening to this song for ages. And this has the line in it, I think my life would be better if I moved to Colorado, and starts having all of these dreams about what life is going to be like. And because it said Colorado, and I was thinking about the American South or like Western novels, I ended up going for The Bean Trees by Barbara Kingsolver. And this isn't a book that I like.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, the sense of longing that was there, the idea of somebody going and bettering themselves, is very prevalent in The Bean Trees. So they seem to connect incredibly well in my mind. Colorado, this song, pairs well with any road trip novel. Young woman traveling, looking to find something that she's dreaming about, really. Unsure whether she's ever actually going to find it, recognizing she has a rose-tinted view of very specific dreams. And
that's lovely.
Yeah. Anyway, what was your number 1 song?
My number 1 song is a very cheesy one. It's probably the cheesiest song out of all of this list. And there is, like, classic is arguably very extremely cheesy, but this is like even cheesier. And it's Guard Down by August Moon. And again, it's from the movie The Idea of You. So basically, August Moon are this fictional band in the movie I did a review with Anne Hathaway and again Nicholas Galitzine. These are songs I played on repeat because it was, and again, because it was one of the few things that like when I played it, it made me feel happy. So I just when I was feeling sad, I needed that. I needed, I needed that. So I just and like actually I need to like now I'm talking about it, I want to rewatch the movie because it's full cheese and full just like it's just a older woman romancing a younger guy, and it's sort of like it's just like I don't know something about it like female power and stuff like that. And then yeah, I just really really loved it. So cheesy. Anyway, the book I'm gonna pair with it is a somewhat tenuous link as always. But it is linked because it's Guards by Terry Pratchett.
Ah, okay.
And I feel like the reason I'm going to pair it, and I am confident in my pairing,
Okay.
is because even though like Let Your Guard Down Again is about another relationship thing, like it's a very fun song, and Terry Pratchett is again another really really fun author. Like he gives me this when I read his books and interact with his books, it just brings me that sense of like that same calm that I felt when I listened to the music because it's just this comfort factor. I feel like both of those are comfort listens and reads. So and I feel like I'm so grateful. I know you talk about Terry Pratchett, but you've talked about Terry Pratchett for years. But yeah, with Jack finally getting me getting me into Terry Pratchett because I love Terry Pratchett's books.
Okay.
I can't wait to read them.
It was a tenuous link, but it makes sense.
Oh, Guards, go let your guard down. Guards.
I just meant in terms of what, like, the film
The
and
content.
all that sort. Yeah. There we have the top 20 songs of the Charlie and the Charlie for the year, and a list of 10 books for you to go and enjoy as well. So aren't you the lucky ones? So then I guess we are going to move on to a game that Charlie and I originated when you were doing what sort of challenge was it you and Jen had going on?
Picking each other's TBRs and we were coming up with prompts for each other.
If you watched Jen's video, then you might have seen mention of this challenge, which was all to do with the Traitors TV show. Both Charlie and Jen are big fans of that show. I've yet to see it. We chose 5 books each and put those into a random name generator to pick 2 traitors. And we have sent 2 clues of zoomed in photos from the cover. And we have got to guess which books are the traitors. Now,
I've also got verbal clues for you if you need them.
We're being a bit harsher than Charlie was with Jen. Jen only had to get 1 out of 3, and then she could choose any book out of the 5 to read. We have to get both traitors in order to pick whichever book we want to read from the books we sent to each other. Otherwise, we have to read both Traitors books. However, we are giving ourselves the first 3 months of 20.
No, it's to read all 5 books.
Let's read all 5.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
Not this year, like as a project.
Oh my goodness,
like,
I hadn't even thought about that. So if we don't pick the 2 traitors, we have to read all of the books that we have on our list.
That's what Jen's had to do.
3 months.
Yeah, because with Jen, with Jen, she had to read all. No, was it? No.
She just had to read the traitors when we set.
No, she wouldn't have had to read all 13. But I do think for us, that's the consequence.
Okay, fine. If we don't pick both traitors, we've got to read all 5 of these books. Oh my goodness, Charlie just changing the rules on Charlie here. Anyway, so the books that Charlie sent to me, her 5 were The Story of the Forest by Linda Grant, Night Alphabet by Joelle Taylor, Blessings by Chukwuebuka Ibeh, The Door-to-Door Bookstore by Carsten Henn, and Slow Horses by Mick Herron. And on screen right now, I will be showing the pictures that Charlie got sent.
Oh, this is going to be hard because there's got quite a lot of red and these covers are really tricky, aren't they? I've made it life harder for myself. This is quite tricky, Charlie.
So now that Charlie has had a look at the images I sent, the screenshots, and the book covers, she believes that she's figured out the traitors this time around. So, Charlie, which...
No, actually, no, I was like second guessing myself. No, I will. I'll stay confident.
There are 2 traitors. What do you think they are?
So one of the traitors, I believe, is The Door-to-Door Bookstore by Carsten Henn.
Okay.
And which means I've probably got it wrong for your face. The second one, I believe, is a traitor, is Slow Horses by Mick Herron.
There you go. You got them both.
Yes!
So you get to pick whichever one of those books you wish to read within the first 5 months of the first 3 months of 2025.
I'll just say the Door-to-Door Bookstore because it's quite cozy.
Okay, that's a good one. The books that I sent to Charlie were The Great Wen by Alan Moore, The Comforters by Muriel Spark, Martyr by Kaveh Akbar, Normal Women by Ainslee Hogarth, and The Night Alphabet by Joelle Taylor. We both sent each other The Night Alphabet. We keep throwing it onto these lists, and I think we're just going to end up buddy reading it at some point now. Now I'm sharing on screen the 2 images that Charlie sent me, the screenshots. And like at first when I saw them, I thought, oh, Charlie's been really kind to me and made this easy. And then I zoomed in on 2 of the covers myself and realized that the blue one in particular, which I immediately thought was one book, could actually have been the blue on a different cover and the blue on a different cover if she'd zoomed in a specific time. In fact, I'm looking now, and it could even be a different blue. I sent too much blue. I tried to make this easy for myself, and I think I made it harder.
Do you want some? Do you want some word clues for it?
Yeah, I'll take some word clues. I'll take whatever I can get.
I'll say some clues about 1 clue about each book.
Yeah, 1 clue for each traitor. We said, yeah.
One of the author has also written poetry.
Okay.
Which probably doesn't really help that much, but it does. And then another book, the author began publishing under various pen names.
Can I say what I thought the black one was first? Because
Yeah,
it's the blue one that's thrown me off now. So when I first saw the black one, I thought it was The Great Wen by Alan Moore.
Yeah.
Is that one right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just need to get the second traitor. Oh, that doesn't actually help me, does it?
No.
That doesn't help me. Okay. Oh, would you have been cruel enough to do that to me? Would you? Oh gosh. Okay. The blue's just so smooth, and so like when I saw this smooth blue, I thought it was like just the one book. Can I just say what I thought? Should I just say what I thought it was originally? Yeah. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I thought that the next one was The Comforters by Muriel Spark. Yeah, was it? Yes.
Yes, you're right. You're correct.
You weren't saying anything.
I wasn't. I was nodding. I was going.
Oh, right, okay. It doesn't show up that well on camera is all I'll say. No, so when I originally saw these photos, I was like, yes, it's the Great One and the Comforter. She's being kind to me. But then it was like, I saw the blue that was on Normal Women, and I saw the blue on the Joelle Taylor, and that immediately threw me off.
And they're both poets previously. They both published. She's
Akbar, poet. Joelle Taylor, poet. And so that's what was throwing me off, because did Muriel Spark write poetry?
Yeah, she did in the previous year.
Right, you see, I didn't know that. Oh.
She's historically. She's written poetry, she's written short stories, she's written memoir.
I knew about the short stories and the novels. I didn't know about. Oh, wow. You picked 2 good ones there. I was terrified.
I like that.
So I get to pick any one that I want to read.
Okay, which one would you pick?
Within the first few months.
I bet I know which one you'll pick. Actually, no, I don't.
Come on, have a guess which you think I'd pick.
The Alan, the Great Wen.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah, you do know you so well.
I mean, ideally, because I don't want.
That's the one that you've been excited for. Like, obviously, you're excited for all of them, but
ideally, I'd read all of them anyway. Yeah, but I have a few plans for next year, so I'll get into them in a.
But maybe what we'll do is we'll again, like as always, we will revisit it, and hopefully, we would have read all 5.
We said we'd talk about these books eventually, so you will, follow our channels if you aren't already to find out if we ever actually do say what we're going to do. I mean, Charlie will definitely read them because Charlie had read flaming half of the books off the first.
I might unhaul them.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll unhaul all 5 and then I don't have to worry about this.
That's probably actually what you'll actually do. No, you won't. I know you won't. You will read. I know you'll read the Alan Moore, but I know you
won't. That's just rude. And that was that. We both did incredibly well there. We are clearly getting a lot more knowledgeable, especially about the way things are. But I'm glad that I got it because I really don't like, as much as I probably do want to read all 5 of those books in the first few months of the year, it's better to have them as just tentative things than being like, you have to read these in 12 weeks. Otherwise, Charlie will come to Macclesfield and she will kidnap your entire family.
I like
Anyway,
your family though, so that would be like a good thing. I'm planning on kidnapping them.
Yeah. I'll let them know so they can pack their bags first. Anyway,
I'm going off on trips.
I think
Another road trip. Second week where we're talking about road trips.
But I think if you don't mind, when it comes to the next part of this, which is the bookish catch up, I would like to be the person to start with this simply
Go
because
for it.
we've just done the next Charlie challenge, which was the Traitors challenge. And obviously, way back when we started these videos, we did another challenge, and I ended up having to read To Cook a Bear by Mikael Niemi. And the update on that book is that I have DNF'd it.
Oh, I'm so
I
shocked.
I was so looking forward to this book.
Yeah.
I don't know why it was in my phone earlier this year, but when I saw it when we went to York, I was like, oh, I've had this on my radar. Let me buy it. I thought it had been sent to me by the universe. I don't know what the universe was doing this time around. I don't know what they were trying to say. I had really enjoyed the way that this book began. I read the first part of the book and felt like it was heading in a very specific direction. It's a rather slow tale at first, and it makes some brutal things that happen feel worse than they probably are because everything's been quite quiet until that point. It's set in a rather religious community. Apparently, one of the protagonists is based on an actual person. It felt a bit like Sherlock Holmes in terms of the assistant telling the story of the detective. I started to feel more uneasy than I wanted. And that's probably a good thing, a book of this ilk, to make you feel uneasy. But also, the pace of the book started to frustrate me. I didn't
That's
mind
hot.
that it was slow, but it felt like it was taking a very long time to get to anything. And there were these moments of description and philosophy that I just kind of didn't gel with, to the point that I ended up doing my mother's trick and skipping to the end because I was so certain that I was going to be right with the way that the book turned out. And I was. And I just like, as a reader, I know we're supposed to read the book and we're supposed to go through the whole thing of building up to it, but I just felt like I knew exactly what was going to happen. I knew what we were getting to. I didn't need to read 440 pages to know the way that this story was going. Now,
I feel like 400 pages is like a tipping is a book length that's kind of like you'd think it's short, but it's actually frustrating when you're not enjoying it, isn't it? It's like that length you won't push through, whereas a 300-page book, that length you probably would have pushed through.
I don't know. It's one of those where I like the idea.
Yeah.
I didn't care for the execution. Now, I'm not saying I won't go back to this book.
Yeah.
It might only be a soft DNF. I can't be sure. But I was not enjoying my time with it. However, I did finish reading A Stroke of the Pen by Terry Pratchett.
Oh, good that I've got that on my shelves.
I recommend listening to the audiobook of this one. It is told by a lot of different people. Derek Jacobi's on there, David Tennant's on there, and it's
Listen to that then.
yeah. So it's a really well done audiobook. Each short story is told by a different actor or audiobook narrator, whatever you want to call them, and it's incredibly well done. So I do recommend that. There's a few Christmas stories in there too to really just buoy your mood at this time of year.
Two actors that have been on Doctor Who. Obviously, one was a doctor, but
yeah, well, I pulled those out because they were both in Doctor Who. There might even be more that have been in that as well. I think Claire Foy's in this, but I don't know whether she was in Doctor Who. Anyway, there you go. I didn't get on with the book that we chose for the Charlie challenge.
That's okay. I haven't finished. Obviously, I was going to read it in the week after Christmas. I haven't been driven to. Not that I haven't been driven to pick it up. I'm desperate to read it, but I know it's not a Christmassy book because, as we discussed, it's a very brutal book. So I think it's going to be a very brutal book. So I need to read it at the right time. So yeah, but I'm still excited to read it. I have finished 2 books. I don't know whether I'd finished this one of them and already said about it. So I'll say it. You could edit it out if I have. I finished Shadows at Noon, which had I already finished that last week?
I do not know. You
Okay.
act like I listen to you, Charlie.
Sorry?
I see you act like I listen to you.
You're meant to listen. Naughty. Yeah, I'm gonna say that was what I finished. I feel like I don't know if I finished it before then or not, but that's what's on Storygraph was that end of last week. So, and there's not really much I can say about it because obviously it's a huge, vast non-fiction full of a lot of different aspects of the history of South Asia, and it's very, very interesting. There were like I don't know if I mentioned it last week, aspects that weren't like obviously you're not going to be interested in every aspect of a country, so there was like some stuff to do with entertainment towards the very end that I wasn't as interested in. But yeah, overall it was a really, really good book, a 4-star read. Very, very vast book, a very big book, and one I took a long time over. But yeah. And then the other book I finished was one I had DNF'd in my Gen video, which was I Who Had Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. This is one that everyone on BookTube seems to love. I don't know. Well, actually, there is one person I know that watches our crackers, that Kerry, the lovely Kerry. She watches our videos, and she didn't like it. Yeah, I just didn't get on with it. I feel really bad saying it because I know how popular it is. I can see the beauty in Jacqueline Hartman's writing. I can see why people love it. So basically, if you don't know the premise of this book, there are 40 women that are in this at the start of the book. 40, you discover there's 40 women in this underground bunker, and you don't know why they're there. You just don't know anything really, other than that they're in this bunker and that these men are controlling their day-to-day lives.
Right.
It's not really even about that. That sounds very plotty. It's not plotty. It's very plotless, I would say, and it's very introspective. Obviously, talking about the lack of agency, and there's just so many bigger themes that it's discussing, which I can appreciate that, and I can appreciate the writing. I felt like I was trudging through it, and I should have probably left it a DNF, sorry to say, but I can see why it's people's favorite, so that's a caveat for that. But and in terms of another one I'm still reading, I'm nearly finished Guards. So yeah, and obviously I'm loving that, which I already said about. So.
I'm glad that we're both getting on with Terry Pratchett. He's really improving the Christmas season for us both. And yeah,
I feel like I might try and head to Hogfather as well. I'm really craving that.
I was literally just going to mention it. I was going to think about, it's the festive time of year and I keep meaning to go back to it. So I was thinking, I'm going to be in work a bit more this week. Maybe I should listen to the audiobook.
I'm going to do the same thing.
I have got the DVD of it though, where David Jason's in it, but I've still not watched that. Anyway, we're at that point in the video, Charlie. What has been a happy moment of the week for you?
This is the perfect thing to close on because it's Santa Claus. So so Santa Claus came to the library on Monday. He's also coming to the library on Thursday. Obviously, we sing our Christmas songs. This is the last week of me being in the library before Christmas, and it's just the most fun time of year. I love singing Christmas songs with the kids. That is like my favorite. I love singing songs with the kids, but festive songs especially just bring me so much joy. And seeing Santa Claus coming in and their little faces, some of them were slightly scared, I'm not gonna lie, but a lot of them were really, really happy, and it was just a really wonderful moment, and yeah, it's something I like cherish, and yeah, I'm just so grateful that I get to be part of it. And I'm getting excited for tomorrow as well.
Well, my moment,
how about you, Charlie?
I will go with something similar. I could have gone with being an absolute heathen, but I won't. I will go with the mayor of the town in which I work was holding a scavenger hunt for the local children, and they had to go around each shop, and in each shop we had a picture that he had to find, and then I had to give them a clue. And so it did, we didn't get too many of them. We only got about a dozen children coming in, but it was very nice to, get to share this clue with them. Recognize that sometimes children don't listen to you as much as they should do. And, me and children, we don't often get on. Somebody kept, said to me, you read to them very well. And I'm like, that's just because I enjoy reading. I could read to anybody, but it was nice to see them get excited about going around and doing this, and some of them are dressed for the occasion. One came in dressed as an elf, the other one had picked out her prettiest Christmas dress. So it was a nice precursor to everything that's going to be happening over the coming week, because after all, we're only one more week till Christmas.
Yeah,
which I suppose should bring us towards the end of the video, really, and the end of Charlie and Charlie's Christmas cracker for 2024. I guess
I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that's been watching and commenting. Last week's comments, I think, especially were probably my favourite, just because I don't know if you've seen it, many of the or seen them, but we've got so many it like tore the comments apart.
Oh yeah, no, I loved the great carrot debate of 2024. I did go in and I read
it got brought into the comments, didn't it?
One of my favourite comments was where it was telling me about cooking the carrots in sugar and all this stuff, and I was there like, I gave up sugar in 2019, but okay.
I just think everyone's being really creative as well with that. I loved the cooking recommendations for everybody, and I just think it was just and I was still shocked because obviously this morning even my lovely Jen, speaking of Jen, she doesn't like carrots either. She hates them, and she loves broccoli like you do. So yeah, I feel like I'm discovering new things about the people that I thought were my friends.
Wow, thought we were friends.
I'm joking.
Wow.
Love you guys. But yeah, clearly I attract carrot haters.
Well,
so
I'm a carrot disliker, not a carrot hater.
and my Lydia in the library, she hates carrots as well.
They're an easy vegetable to dislike. They're just so ugh.
No, I will never ever. But anyway, so yeah, thank you to everyone that has been commenting every single week, but especially thank you for everyone that sort of made us both smile last week, because it did really make us laugh, didn't it? And I needed it, so yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate anyone who's joined us over the last few weeks or who happens to be viewing this in the future. And
Either think of an emoji for them because they like leaving an emoji. I was thinking maybe either a snow. I would pick a snowflake, or you can pick one.
Okay, I'm going to pick a bell.
A bell. I did nearly pick a bell. That's so funny.
So in the comments, if you've made it this far, if you would like to leave us a snowflake or a bell, then please do that. We both hope that you have the merriest of Christmases. I hope it's not much more merrier than mine, because I do plan on making it absolutely wonderful. But I hope it's half as wonderful as I want mine to be.
I hope that everyone has a most wonderful Christmas.
I hope that you get whatever you want. I hope that you get your stockings filled and your turkey stuffed. Is all else.
I'm going to interpret that.
Have a great Christmas. We hope that 2025 proves most prosperous for you all. We will probably see you again at some point. Will we be together? I don't know. As the debate cast this friendship under, will Charlie be seeking a new Charlie come 2025? We don't know.
I quite like Gems Charlie, so you know.
That's it. Charlie's taking this to CBeebies, and I'll probably disappear somewhere into the ether. I don't know. Well, we'll find out next time, because until then, that is all.